Well, welcome, it's Mike here. Today I'm in Adelaide, the capital city of South Australia, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the annual Supercars event here in Adelaide. The Adelaide 500 it's called. It's located right next to the city. It's a unique spot because it's right next to the CBD of the city. Now on screen there we've got the old Commodores, 2017 model Commodores, made in Australia, and this is called the Dunlop Series 2. Now just to give you a little bit more information on this event, it's Australia's largest domestic ticketed motorsport event, and just to give you an indication of the size of it, the 2024 four-day event it's held drew 260,000 people. It's recognised as the best supercar event in Australia since 2022. It did have a year off through COVID before that, but the actual event itself took over from the Formula One, which finished in Adelaide in 1995. So it's been a very popular, successful event. It's held in the Victoria Park, right next to the city, and as you can see there, these Commodores are the last ones off the production line in Adelaide. They were built in Adelaide and Elizabeth suburb in 2017. Now Holden in Australia, which is an offshoot from GMH in America, they were building Holdens in Adelaide from 1948 to 2017, and this is the last run. These are 217 models, V8 supercars modified for racing, but they were believed to be the best Commodore produced, and sadly they were the last ones produced. Now just a little bit more about this track, which is in the centre. This track, the last time it was used for Formula One was 1995. And in 1995 it was a four-day event, and it held the Formula One attendance record on the Sunday of 210,000 people have attended it. The four-day attendance total was 520,000 spectators, which set a record for Formula One. Now that record stood until the year 2000 when USA, Indianapolis, beat it. It had 250,000 people attend on the Sunday race day, so the record's now gone to the USA. But Adelaide had it for many years. So these are below the supercar level. And these blokes here, these are volunteers who look after fire. If there's a fire, they go onto the track and fix it, I would say. There, they've got the fire extinguishers in the back. Series 2 cars are just getting ready to go out onto the track. They'll go through here onto the track. the big talking points, or one of the advantages of the Adelaide 500 is it has lots of other events on the main track and off the track as well, like the jumps on the bikes here. There's lots of family and kids playgrounds, for the whole family to get involved. But getting back to the Adelaide 500, I'll give you a rundown on the major events of the day. The Supercar Championship is the number one event. It's the high performance V8s. It's Ford Mustang versus Chevrolet, the Camaro ZL1. That's the main event. It races Saturday and Sunday. The number two event is the Dunlop Series 2, which is the Holden Commodores you saw earlier in the video, the Supercars, 2017 model Holden Commodores. They also have a Porsche Carrera Cup, which is 911s, GT3 cars. They have Trans Am Series, Ford Mustangs, Chevrolet Camaros, Dodge Challengers, and another series of events. The fifth best is the V8 Supercar or Super Ute series, which is high performance modified utes. They're the Ford Ranger, a Mazda BT, Toyota Hilux, Isuzu D-Max, Mitsubishi Triton and Holden Colorado. They also perform on the track. And the other major event, which is a fun event for the people, is the Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks. They are the USA built super pickups which come to Adelaide and race. I really like this event. It's very, very popular in Australia, and watching them on the high jumps is incredible. The winner of 2024 Super Pickups was Robbie Gordon from the United States of America. He was the overall winner. I keep wanting to call them utes, but in Australia we call them utes, but in America, of course, they're called pickups. But these were missing for a couple of years, and they've just made a reappearance in the last couple of years, so they're very popular with the public.
Get as close as you can to the rear bumper of Zach Bates through turn 8 and try and send one up the inside. Oh, Cameron carried a heap of speed into 8 but didn't get out very well. And that's protected Zach Bates this time.
Oh, Cameron flat up on the fence in the background. I saw bits of mirror bouncing down the road. He's trying to chase down Jordan City. Good luck catching Zach Bates in turn 8 this weekend, because we've seen the commitment that he has been willing to offer yesterday.
is a massive business in supercars in Australia. Here I am at the Adelaide 500. One of the advantages is it's a massive piece of land, parklands all joined together, and you can walk around and get very close to things. I'm going into the Porsche workshop here, so it was very easy access, and it's just so handy, just so convenient because it's so close to the city for hotels, restaurants, etc. So it draws a lot of people internationally and from interstate.
I don't, mate, no.
because of the massive area, the Adelaide 500 organisers are able to put on a huge display of classic cars, former racing cars, lots of different styles. Part of the entertainment for the Adelaide 500, the Australian Defence Force is also proud to support the 500 through the roulettes, the F-18F Super Hornets. They fly over, they do about half a dozen flyovers. Now this entrance here, or this gap in the fence, is important because the cars are coming out of the previous corner. They're doing 240 kilometres an hour out of here, and they go into turn 8, which is a pretty tight right-hander. So the cars are heading away from the city there, doing 240 down that straight to a tight right-hander called turn 8. They miss the side wall by centimetres, and then they have to go down to Credible Terrace Straight and then hit another tight right-hander at 60 kilometres an hour. So it's a pretty dangerous turn 8. There was a death here at turn 8 approximately about 10 years ago. Oh, here's a iconic Australian car made by General Motors Holden. It's called the Holden Sandman panel van, decked out in the back. It also had called the Shagging Wagon, built from 74 to 1980. Came in V8 motor, enormously popular through the 70s. If you can get one now, they'll sell for over 100,000. They're very rare. One recently up for sale for $330,000 Australian. So yes, anybody got a good one now in mint condition, fabulous investment. stand up on there, mate.
get that cash under 3 seconds. So we're over 3 seconds.
So there it is, the Adelaide 500 Supercar event, held annually, and that's a great day out. I'm not a massive petrol head, however there's so much action going on the track and off the track, so many different activities, family events, so many cars on display. You could spend the whole day there easily and just keep in touch with the race as it's going on. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it and thank you for watching.